We begin with people across the country still on edge after false alarms of more possible gun violence. That comes as Washington is considering new gun laws and President Trump visited the cities of the mass shootings. Gary Lane has the story.
First stop for the President and First Lady, Miami Valley Hospital in Dayton, Ohio, where they thanked first responders, staff members, and consoled victims.
All over the world, they're talking about the job you've done as police, as law enforcement, as first responders.
Outside the Dayton hospital, protesters gave the president a less welcoming response. They want something to be done to stop the mass shootings.
Not one more!
2 mass shootings in less than 24 hours. First at a Walmart in El Paso left 22 people dead. The second in Dayton killed 9 people. At least 80 people were injured in the 2 incidents. The president also faced a cool response in El Paso, where Democratic presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke gathered at a memorial for victims there. He explained why some people didn't welcome the president to the city.
For the community at large to have been so regularly attacked and vilified and demonized by this president, for him to have created the conditions that made an attack like this possible and ultimately likely, it's very insulting to us that he was here.
But in his manifesto, alleged shooter Patrick Crusius said President Trump's remarks had nothing to do with motive for the shooting. And Crusius's mother reportedly called police weeks before the shooting, apparently expressing concern over her son's legally purchased AK-like assault rifle. The 2 attacks had the country on edge. Mayhem in New York's Times Square Tuesday night as people stampeded through the streets in a panic after they mistakenly thought they heard gunshots. Police said a motorcycle backfired. And workers at the USA Today building in McLean, Virginia, were evacuated Wednesday after police received reports of a possible active shooter there. Heavily armed SWAT teams cleared the area and found no gunman. Before President Trump made his stop in Dayton Wednesday, members of the Billy Graham Rapid Response Team were on the ground, bringing comfort to the families of victims and community there.
We visit with the police officers, the firefighters, and others where we have the opportunity. There's a lot of anxiety, a lot of frustration, a lot of fear among people right here on this street.
Many Americans and members of Congress believe something needs to be done to stop the panic and carnage. Some are calling for reinstatement of the national ban on assault rifles. President Trump opposes that idea, but he supports expanding background checks for gun purchases, requiring them for gun shows and internet transactions, and their support for a bipartisan bill on red flag laws, which let courts issue temporary orders banning potentially dangerous people from possessing a gun. But members of Congress are on summer vacation. Few want to end their time off to return to Washington. And while new gun legislation will likely be proposed when Congress returns, it's expected to face an uphill battle in the Senate. Gary Lane, CBN News.